Ciao ragazzi, welcome to Inter Worldwide. We are live, we are back for a special show. It's our mid-season review, the delayed mid-season review, just so logistically we can catch up on games. And to be honest, I wouldn't have anybody else here besides Uncle Sharma to join me for this. Uncle Sharma, thanks for joining me. My G, is all well?
Yes, bro. Glad to be joining you guys. Dom, my guy, and you, of course, the OGs of the game.
And I was about to say, me tactically capitalizing on time zones. It's Dom, also coming from the UK, strongly representing Inter Worldwide, also at Bastoni Baller. What's good, my bro?
I'm good, thank you. Thank you for having me on.
Nah, anytime, my man. You are welcome anytime. Whoa, that's the wrong ticker to start this episode, but that's okay. Guys, we're here for one reason and one reason only, and that's to talk a little bit about Inter's domestic form and Inter's domestic performance in the opening 19 fixtures of Serie A. Also, I should be polite. Shout out to anybody who's joining in the chat this early. Hopefully there's a few more to come in and we'll get your comments up soon. So a couple of, even though we always like to go, balls deep raw on Inter Worldwide, there's never any structure, but we are going to leave out the Champions League in this particular video, because if you want to watch how we felt of the Champions League, you can just go back and watch me embarrass myself 4 or 5 videos in a row. I think myself, Christian Rivas and Mario predicted like 4 wins, 4 match days in a row. We look right stupid. So I'm putting that behind me for sure. So we're focusing pretty much on Serie A. And before we do go into some of the comments, we'll tackle a few of the early fixtures because, there's been 19 games. And I know I can say that we're going to keep it short and sweet, but I know that we do love to chat. So we postponed game 1 against Benevento and actually had to play against Fiorentina. And man, I feel like this game against Fiorentina could eat up 20 minutes alone on this video. I'm going to go over to Rahul for 2 minutes. For 2 minutes only, bro, Rahul. When we look back at the first 19 games, you might as well just summarize it into one little paragraph and go Fiorentina first game.
I remember very clearly because we were so confident going into the season, and we were like, we saw the preseason, all the clips that we were seeing of, Eriksen was starting every preseason match. Hakimi was like, looking already, integrated into the team. And Lukaku, Lautaro, the second year, Conte in the second year, we were like, fuck it, this is gonna be the year. First game, and we went like straight halftime. I was like, what is going on here? Like, what is happening? Yeah. And once again, like, it was just back to normal. Like, last minute goal, Pazza Inter, first game of the season. You're like, okay, the season is on now.
Yeah. Big time, bro. Dom, I know that you tuned into the first game of the season. What was your reaction to Fiorentina? And if you were anything like me, were you just doing this after the game going, I can't do this, man. I can't do this again.
Yeah. Well, I invited my friend around for the game and I said, come watch it. Inter are going to be a new level this season. We're going to be amazing. And then he's watching it and we're getting battered. But then, I turned the game off. I was like, I'm sorry you had to see that. And then it started coming up on my phone with score and everything. I was straight back on. It was the craziest thing I've seen, honestly.
I remember Ribery masterclass.
And Chiesa as well. I thought after that, I was like, if Chiesa goes Juve, he's going to score against us 3 times this season in different games. But luckily, yeah, it didn't happen.
And that substitution that went viral on social media, the Nainggolan and Vidal coming on,
the bad boys.
The social media afterwards, like, oh, look at Inter's bench. It's like fucking so deep. These guys can bring on Nainggolan and Vidal, and those guys reposted it on their stories as well. Like, that picture from I think it was like Walking Dead or something. Them two, walking next to each other with like a bat on the shoulder, and all this guy. And me and Anthony, like, as Nainggolan fans, getting gassed. Like, yeah, this is Nainggolan season.
The gang is in. The bad boys are here. No one's going to be able to touch us in the last 30 minutes of every game because we're bringing in the boys. One half of the boys are gone, bro, and we'll get to that a little bit later. Match day 2, we come up against Benevento, one of our most comprehensive games this season. And like the way that we beat Benevento, I don't mind if we were to win all our games like that, score a goal in the first 3 minutes, and then just control the tempo for the rest of the match. It was the first game where we saw pretty much what Achraf Hakimi was truly capable of. It was where Rahul also established Hakimi FC after that match as well. So Rahul, big ups for the Benevento game. It was the sign of things to come for Hakimi, yeah?
Yeah, man, that one he teared whoever was playing left back. I don't even remember who it was. I think Letizia or someone, but yeah, he was like Biraghi against Dortmund for us. Like, he was getting teared apart, and we saw those 1-2s coming in. It was like I think it was Sanchez, giving the 1-2, and then there was Kolarov doing that massive switch to his side, and we were like, whoa, what a player we got on our hands. And yeah, scoring 5 goals. And I think Conte after that match said, I prefer winning, 5-4 rather than winning 1-0, which is something I never heard. I was like, whoa, what is going on?
Man, I get you. Dom, we'll go over to you next. Ignoring the win against Benevento, because that's pretty much menu. That's routine for us this season. Unfortunately, we didn't do that in our last match day, but we'll get to that eventually. Something that's vexed me this season, Dom, we have lost 3 points from being in front of some of our direct rivals a few times. And the first sign of that was against Lazio on match day 3. We were up 1-0, and then we let Milinkovic-Savic equalize in the 55th minute. Now, that being said, 55th minute, there's still 35 minutes to go. But it does vex me a little bit that we've had to, we've been in front this season against your likes of Atalanta, against Lazio. I think we were up against Roma as well. But
yeah,
were we? Yeah, we were. So there you go. So we've lost potentially 6 points there just from dropping points against our direct rivals. Do you remember the Lazio match well, my friend?
Yeah. Well, a big fight between Immobile and Vidal that game. Both got red cards. Shame that, Vidal had to get sent off, but that's his masterclass. But I think if that game stayed how it was, we definitely had the beating of them. But it was like a classic Inter thing where we'd score and you didn't see that real intensity keep going. And it was a shame that we had to drop points there, but we got away not losing. And Lazio, who have looked decent this season, not consistent, but still managed to get a decent result against them, but would have much rather win. And we definitely could have got it.
Looking back on it now, man, these are the sort of results that when you get down to match day 32, 33, you're going to be looking back on and going, shit, it would have been a different story had we buried those. But if ands or buts can be applied to every single season, we're only dealing with absolutes here at the moment. So, Rahul, before we go into talk about the derby, your thoughts after, potentially slipping against Lazio, even though going to Rome is, easier said than done?
Yeah, that was the first match where I was like, this 3-4-1-2, I'm not too sure about it, because Lazio kept getting in behind our defense in that match, and it was like worrying. I was like, whoa, this doesn't look very stable defensively, this formation. And yeah, like in that match, they had a few chances. We had chances. That was the first match where we saw like our not being very clinical with our chances as well. So I think that Lazio match was a good, summary of like our beginning of the season, just like not that good defensively and not very good, going forward as well. Yeah,
100%. Moving on after that, the all-important first derby where we came up short after, not starting very, very well against our opposition. We lost 2-1 to Milan. We went down 2-0 in the space of 16 minutes to Ibrahimovic. Romelu Lukaku equalizes about 15 minutes before the break. But after that, we were just struggling to break through. And I guess this was the first sign for me personally that Milan might not just be there to be whipped around 4th, 5th, 6th position. There could be something there. That was my reaction at the end of that game. There could be something. Now we know for sure there is something. Guys, I'm sure you sort of understand this, but I can't believe how hot it is for 8:30 in the morning in Sydney. I need to go and turn my air conditioner on. So I'm going to throw over to Uncle Sharma first to start talking about our first derby defeat, and I'll be right back.
He's sweating already because he's talking about the derby. But that match, I think I was one of the guys that was not doubting Milan. I put them in my prediction, I put them to finish 4th or 5th. I can't remember. So I thought they would be a decent team, but yeah, they've surpassed my expectations this year. And yeah, that match kind of, showed that, because I think overall we weren't that bad. Like, because I didn't watch that match live. I don't know about you, Dom, because I had to rewatch it. I missed that match. But when I rewatched it on a replay, like I thought we played pretty good. We had so many chances that match. I even made like a compilation on YouTube on Twitter. We had 4 or 5 clear cut chances that we didn't take. And then obviously that was the match that everyone remembers Alexander Kolarov for. I think he needs something special for Inter fans to turn around their opinion on him, because that was an absolute 1 out of 10 performance or 0 out of 10 performance, because you fall for both goals and just getting bullied by Ibra the whole match, not a good look. So that's why I remember that match mainly for Kolarov.
Yeah, we're still talking about the derby, where Kolarov basically shit his pants in the first 20 minutes, and we're all like, oh, great, that really goes well for confidence Conte-wise, go and sack Godin for the same salary, and then Kolarov does that. Godin, to be fair, hasn't had the best season under Cagliari, but look at the men he's got around him, look at the motivation he's got around him. Look at how Godin came up good in the back 3 or 4 games of last season. Not 100% sure it was the right decision to phase out a winning champion like Diego Godin for Kolarov. You know, at the end of the day, I respect Kolarov a lot. And there's no further place you can go than the Roma fans for that. You go and ask any Roma fan and they'll say, professional, fantastic, went out on good terms. We can't say a bad word about him. And that's what he is. It's just, unfortunately, physiology catches up to you. And as much as I like Antonio Conte as a coach, I think one of the things that he does fall short in is admitting when it's time to let go in terms of physically for players' age. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes for him later on. Next game after that was a game where I knew 100% sure we were going to win. So I actually slept through it for the first time this season. Genoa. I hang shit on Genoa more than any other team at the moment because we have literally spanked their ass every season. This season, however, not so much. I woke up to a range of like messages going, this is shit, this is horrible. You know, I don't know about you guys, but if you ever sleep through an into game and you wake up, you never wake up to positive messages. Even when you win, it's dire. And apparently this one wasn't great. You know, we had to wait till the 65th minute for Lukaku to break it down. And then, you know, as Raul and I always say, death, taxes, Danilo D'Ambrosio at the back post. First of a couple this season as well. So we'll go over to you, Dom. Genoa, whipping boys this season, easy win. What did you think of that?
Yeah, turn up, obviously, as you said, you expect an easy win against Genoa. I mean, Gagliardini loves to score against them, but we got there and it wasn't like a clear run in the park. We actually had to work for our goals that game and had to work very hard, as you said, 65th minute. But like when we used to have Danilo on the bench, D'Ambrosio, like it used to give me like security because I know we could bring him on, whip a corner in, and he will get his head on it. He's like Ranocchia. You can bring him up front and he'll do something for you. But that was one of those games that, like the first ones of the season, I was like, right, we're going to start struggling against these lower half teams. But we came through, we got the 3 points, and that's all that matters at the end of the day, really.
Fair enough. Jumping over to Raul, if there's something as consistent as Danilo D'Ambrosio scoring for us at the back post, you know what's just as consistent? Gervinho scoring for Parma against us, bro. So let's move into the next match. 2-2 at home against Parma. 46th minute, 1-0 Gervinho. 62nd minute, 2-0 Gervinho. And then we really need to dig in the dumps. And, you know, that's one moment in time where Kolarov actually came up good. That last stoppage time minute assist from the free kick for Perisic's header. I'm like, you know what? That's saving us a point right there, our experience, but not good enough, bro.
Yeah, no, he just said like Gervinho playing like prime Ronaldinho against us is an absolute guarantee every single time. And I think that was the only match I've ever seen De Vrij play right centre back, and it's not been done ever since. I think we're quite rightly, because I think De Vrij, as we've seen, he's amazing in that central position of the three, but I think he got a little bit exposed against Gervinho in that match, and it's just there's not much you can do. But again, this whole when we're talking about these first 8-9 matches, the main thing was, you know, we were still playing that 3-4-1-2 formation with like a really high line, and we just never looked like solid in any of the matches. And this Parma match was the perfect example. Like every time Parma, you know, put a long ball in behind to Gervinho or Caramo, you know, they were just getting in behind us, and it was so easy. And you know, it took till match day 8 or 9, I think, for Conte to change that formation. Obviously, we'll get to that, but I just remember that match being convinced, like, okay, this formation is not it.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Mo says Parma, worst game after Milan. Saying that this is the worst game we've seen is pretty much a standard sentence every time we see a shit performance from Inter. The amount of worst games I've ever seen is every game that I've ever seen for the last how many years. So, yeah, fair enough in saying that, man. Moving on after that, though, we did have a couple of other decent performances, but we'll start with another negative one. And this one really, sorry for my language, fucking pissed me off, man. Like, I can't stand conceding goals in the last 10 to 15 minutes, bro. It's really what separates the men from the boys in this sport. Controlling the match in the back end of the game. physiology-wise, mentally, being able to play the right tactical system in opposition to whatever your opponent is throwing at you. And once again, we came up short in that respect. Atalanta 1-1 in Bergamo. We take the lead in 58 minutes with Lautaro, but we concede with 10 minutes to go again. These are the games right now I'm looking back on and I'm like, I know in hindsight these results aren't bad results, but the manner in which we get them, we just don't do them properly. We don't do them properly. Raul, your thoughts are for Atalanta before we go over to Dom?
Yeah, I think that was I think we changed to the 3-5-2 for that match, and we were like, look, it's just everything's all fine now. You know, we were a lot more solid. You know, we created more chances than Atalanta. You know, Atalanta obviously known for their, you know, being, you know, very high scorers and everything. So I was actually, I want to say I enjoyed that match, but I was moderately happy with that match because I was expecting Atalanta to, like, you know, score loads or like create loads of chances. So I was quite happy for Inter to be a bit more solid in that match. But yeah, as you said, just the fact that the way we gifted that, well, not even gifted, but just you could just see it. The more Atalanta in the last 10 minutes were building up, getting more of the ball, and in the end, yeah, that shot from Miranchuk, I think, is actually his only goal he scored this season as well. And then Handanovic probably maybe could have done better on that shot, which was, you know, one of the overarching themes of this season as well. But yeah, that's
100%. Harry, thanks for joining the chat. As always, Ian Kerr says, hi guys, hope you're well. What's up, Ian? Hope you and the family are well. Love the energy, guys. From Mo, we love your football analysis that you've been coming out with in the last couple of weeks. So if you haven't checked them out yet, make sure you follow Mo's personal accounts as well. He's always on Inter Worldwide. You won't be able to miss him. I can guarantee you that. Mo also says, St. Danilo, there's something missing in this Inter side in the last 15 minutes. And I really don't want to say what it could be because, yeah, back post, nothing there at the moment. Stop with the 3-5-2. Cesare says, Cesare, thanks for stopping by again, as always. And Mo says, once again, killing off of games has always been a problem for us. We seem to never be able to do the full 90, the full stretch. Last season under Conte, we were hands down the best team in Europe at starting football. We were scoring goals so early, it was a joke. I was setting my alarms and I was waking up in a happy mood because we were scoring goals in the first 3 minutes. This season, it seems like the polar opposite. We actually need to wait until it's doom and gloom or Armageddon before we even get a look in. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes in the back end of the season. So, Dom, Atalanta was a shame. You could talk briefly about missing out on the Atalanta points, but at least we were able to back it up after that against what has been a shit Torino this season, bro.
Yeah, like especially with the Torino game. I mean, 2-0 down and coming up and winning 4-2.
Oh, bro.
It made me feel ill watching us go 2-0 down. I thought, that's it, season's done. Like, I'll see you again next year, Inter. But we turned that game around. Obviously, you don't want that to happen in a game. But as I was going to say with Atalanta, when Conte joined, we signed the ex-Real Madrid fitness coach. And when we got him, I expected, you know, our players should be tip-top. Like, that team won Champions League so many times within, like, 4 years. And we do see that. Like, we managed to keep physicality over any other team. But, I mean, having to watch us go 2-0 down, hated it, but we showed that we can do it. And I mean, coming down and winning those games shows that you can win the league, in my opinion, if you're able to do that.
Exactly right, man. Exactly right. So after that Torino match, you know, we had started to gather at least a little bit of momentum. The next game that came after that was actually, for me, the most impressive performance domestically of the season at that point so far. I was really nervous going into the match against Sassuolo because they were actually flying pretty high at the time, but we were able to dispose of them really easily. Rahul Sharma, I know that your reactions, I remember them, they were very, very similar after Sassuolo. A good game, bro. A really good game for us to see so far this season, yeah? Yeah,
I think that was the match where we permanently went back to the 3-5-2. I think that was the point where Conte said, forget this 3-4-1-2 experiment. I'm not playing Eriksen. I'm not playing Barella, CAM. That's it. I'm going back to the 3-5-2. Solid. And that was the match that Arturo Vidal, I think he got sent off the week before against Real Madrid. So he was like, you know, everyone was watching him closely, and that was like his forgiveness match from that sending off, I believe, if I'm right, because I remember watching Vidal closely, and he was pretty decent. And Barella played in the regista role that match because Brozovic was out, and I was pretty impressed with Barella playing in that role. and it was the Sanchez Lautaro partnership up front. So we were panicking because Lukaku was out injured, and we were saying, oh, how are we gonna do without him? And we did fine with the two midgets up front, the two false nine, as you could say. So yeah, no, that was I agree that probably till that point of the season was the most impressive performance, man.
Yeah, it really was. It really was the most impressive performance of the season. One of those performances where you think this team's going to start to rise to the occasion a little bit soon. Before we go into the next fixtures, let's welcome another guest. It's an Inter worldwide veteran, Alessandro, all the way from San Francisco. What's going on, brother?
Oh.
Alessandro, can you hear us, man?
Some technical issues.
That's all right. We'll come back to him in a sec. Next game, another routine victory, another one where, Bologna were never going to cause us too many problems, especially at home. As Rahul said, we had just switched back to the 3-5-2, so I think the team had a little bit more tactical identity in that match as well. And this was the official rise of Hakimi FC. This was his game. So before we go over to Rahul, what's going on, Dom, with that game against Bologna? Did you like seeing Hakimi rip it up?
Who wouldn't? He was absolutely amazing that game. I mean, watching him run, I don't understand how he does it. Like, he's so quick, and that ball from Brozovic straight over the top to him, amazing. Like, it's really shown like Brozovic has come a long way since Spalletti. Like, he's turned him into like the perfect regista, and like I wouldn't have it any other way with them two. And Hakimi's other goal, just pure pace, just kept going and got the goal. And what I love to see from him, he is truly amazing, that player.
Yeah, 100%. Rahul, what do you think, Rahul, of that game?
Yeah, we saw the Dom and Hakimi, like we were kind of waiting to see, because I think in the first 8 or 9 match days in the Serie A and the Champions League, we struggled to that was one of the main criticism for Conte. It was like how Hakimi's playing, so we weren't using him properly. It seemed like he was too high up. He was starting too high up. We were saying he needs to start a bit deeper and come with the ball forward, or you pass the ball to him into the space. And that was the match where it seemed like it finally clicked for the Inter players. It was like, pass the ball to this guy into the space, like he'll get there. Move the ball in front of him and he'll get there. And that was the match where it seemed like it finally clicked. And scoring, the right foot, left foot, and it was so good. That's the main thing I remember from that match. The arrival of Achraf Hakimi, basically.
100%. And to be honest, we'll go to this fixture a little bit soon, but I was actually relating his performance yesterday to his performance there up until he executed. He was playing an almost identical performance yesterday against Udinese that he was against Bologna. It's just his execution against Bologna was grade A, but his execution against Udinese was absolutely horrendous. So we'll move into that soon. Our next game, the ultimate troll victory of the season. Alessandro, give us a shout if you can hear and see us now, because our next one was against,
I can hear you. I cannot see you, but it's fine.
Look, that's all right. We can see you.
Me. Okay.
Yeah,
perfect.
We can see you, and that's all that sort of matters, bro. How you going, bro?
Okay.
The Napoli game, the troll win of the season, the win that we probably shouldn't have got the 3 points. Napoli were pegging us, and then it got even worse when they went down to 10 men. Romelu Lukaku, you can always almost guarantee he's going to bury the ball. So we'll go over to Alessandro first. The reaction after Napoli, man, that sort of grind out win. What did you think of that one?
Well, hold on. We're talking about the Napoli game. Okay.
Yeah, the first one, the 1-0.
Got it. Well, was unexpected for the way it came out. And but 3 points are 3 points. I don't care, especially now. Is my mic working?
Yeah, it is. It's just a little bit static. So maybe take the headphones out after you finish speaking.
Oh, all right.
Cool.
Yeah. So I love the 3 points, even if we played the best game of our season. But yeah. That's all I have to say. Let me fix the microphone, okay?
No worries, man. Those 3 points were really, really important because I feel like had we failed to get those 3 points, the next 2 fixtures would have been really tough. And we've seen this season Inter plays better against teams that actually come at us looking to take advantage of us. If you try to take advantage of Inter, we're actually going to punish you and put you to bed. Our problem is when you invite us in and go, show us what you've got, and we say, we ain't got that much, so let's hope for the best. And the next match against Spezia was one that really reflected that. Spezia, a side that plays much better football than their position is going to suggest at the end of the season. I said this as soon as match day 2 because I was tuning into a few of their matches. Rahul, we'll go over to you first. What do you remember about the Spezia win, bro? Apart from the only thing I pretty much remember from that match is that we were up really, really comfortably and they equalized as I finished doing my match reaction, which I thought was freaking bizarre.
For some reason, I don't really remember much of the Spezia match. I remember being impressed by Spezia. What was even the score of that match?
2-1. Well, we were up 2-0, and I think they actually scored after the 94th minute. They put a cross in after the last second, and we actually had to walk back to halfway, kick the ball off, and hold it for 9 more seconds just to get the win.
Yeah, I remember now. Yeah, no, I remember being. That was actually I felt like we were actually one of the few matches where I felt like Inter were a little bit outplayed. Like Spezia were actually very, very good on the ball, and that was the scoreline. On that day, I think even a draw would have been a fair result. I think on the day, so that was another one that we grinded. Especially with that last minute goal where we just had to make sure we got it. So I remember being impressed by Spezia.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. You're a little bit soft, Alessandro, man. Can't really hear you that well. Try again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it's super static, bro. Those headphones aren't doing you any favors, I don't think. Sorry. But what we'll do is we'll go over to Dom next. This match, I copped a lot of hate in this match because mid-chat, I just went absolutely apeshit at Handanovic dropping that ball on the cross and Hellas Verona getting that equalizer to make it 1-1. Thankfully, Milan Skriniar, who stepped it up to Spalletti level form in the last couple of months, he was there to save our asses with a header from his favorite place in the box. Dom, what were your thoughts on the match against Verona? Because, very, very tough team to get 3 points again this season. Just refer to Napoli this morning and they'll tell you.
Yeah, obviously great again to see the win, but I couldn't be happier seeing Milan Skriniar score. The look on his face, he dropped straight to the ground when he was celebrating. He couldn't believe it himself. And like last season, we can all admit he was very shaky. He wasn't himself. We could see that. But this season, he's come in and he's adapted to that three at the back. And I wouldn't have anyone else at the back now. He's been one of our best players. Absolutely amazing for us. And to get a goal, it's all he deserves.
Yeah, 100%. Alessandro, the win against Hellas Verona was super, super important. Was it good to see Milan Skriniar grab a goal, man? Because he really needed that.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me better now. I don't know.
Not really, bro, to be honest. Sorry.
Try with our headphones.
Try and plug the headphones out, man. Plug the headphones out. No, still not. Nah, sorry, dude. Still nothing. Sorry, man. Wait. Unmute your microphone, my friend, on your end. I love live shows, bro. They're the best. Let's go over to Crotone, which was my first ever live stream for a game. And up until about minute 57, I was ready to sack it. I was ready to pack it in, Rahul, and go, I'm never doing this again. This is a bad idea. I can't believe how embarrassed I'm going to be the first time I've gone live to freaking Crotone. Rahul, what were your thoughts on that one, bro?
Yeah, I was the same, man. I was just like, wow, what are these guys playing at? Like Crotone, out of all teams, these are guys that you're really struggling against. This was the Vidal disaster class match. I think that's the one I remember it for. Him giving away the penalty. He was at fault for the corner, or he lost the guy on the corner as well. Taken off at half time. Yeah, so I definitely remember that match for that Vidal. Like we remember the derby for the Kolarov disaster class. We remember this match for the Vidal disaster class.
Yeah, 100%, man. Lucky we were able to dig ourselves deep after that. I think this was the game where Lautaro Martinez got his hat-trick. Dom, It was good to see that. I was buzzing. But even as he scored that third goal, I had these thoughts coming into my head. I'm like, if this is what it means for him to not score again for a month, I'm pissed off that it has to happen. What were your thoughts, Dom, after Crotone, bro?
We see it all the time with Lautaro. He'll score, he'll play amazing, and then he'll go missing for the next 10 games. I mean, prime example against Shakhtar in the Europa League, absolutely amazing, then missing against Sevilla. But, you know, he came up. Personally, I'm going to say he got 4 goals because one of them was an own goal, but it was all he's making. Great game for him. Great game for the whole team as well. And Stefano Sensi just showing that he controls the tempo when he comes on. I mean, Vidal got taken on. He came on and probably man the match for me. Like, he just controlled everything. Everything just became so calm with him on the pitch. So good to see him back, and hopefully we can see more of him this season. He's
100%. I think I've made a small mistake in this episode. I think I actually missed the fixture that was around mid-December. It was when we went to Sardinia and knocked Cagliari 3-1. I'm going to unmute Alessandro, third time lucky, man. Speaking nice and loud. What did you think of knocking over Cagliari 3-1, especially since this was another match that we had to come from behind?
I tried to speak inside the microphone. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it's way too static, man. I'm so sorry. We will regroup again in the next video, Alessandro, my brother. Cagliari, another match that really had me getting the shits. Like, Rahul, bro. Oh, my God. What's the go this season? Like, why do we need to be put to the sword till that we're almost on our last breath of oxygen before someone as majestically beautiful and amazing? I love him. I'll husband him today, Nicolo Barella. What a shot, bro. That's the best goal of the season as well so far. D'Ambrosio saves the day once again. Lukaku put the hat on it in the 90th minute. But that match will forever, for me, be remembered for the 7.5-minute masterclass that is Barella and Danilo D'Ambrosio at the back post.
Yeah, that was that match I thought we were going to lose, honestly, because it looked like one of those matches where Cagliari literally scored from their first shot on goal. It wasn't even like a clear chance. Even and there, Handanovic is the usual, mannequin challenge. And I thought, this is usual. This is standard, procedure. We're gonna lose or draw this, but yeah, Barella really came through that match, man. Because against his old team as well. Cragno looked like as usual keepers do against Inter. He looked like prime Manuel Neuer against us. Everything he was saving. And then I remember also for Eriksen, he was given his first start for 2 months, I think it was, or something like that. And he could have had an assist as well, but yeah, taken off around the 57th minute or something like that. And yeah, but Barella FC that day,
Oh, we were peaking that day, bro. We were peaking that day. Everyone could hear about it. Dom, unfortunately, you've got the graveyard fixture of this video, the worst of the worst one, man. I remember the day before the fixture, I was going on my morning walk, and I'm like, oh, mad. Uncle Sean has put up another video. Oh, double mad. It's with Alex Dono. This is going to get me through my cardio. And then, the way they were speaking, bro, was giving me fucking anxiety because I knew everything that they were saying was about to come true. They had both pretty much agreed that we were going to tattoo Keita Balde and Candreva into the goal scorers. And just like clockwork, all it took was 37 minutes for both of them to get on the score sheet. Dom, talk to me, bro.
I remember that game. We got the penalty straight away, handball. Alexis Sanchez bottled it. As always, we didn't have any penalty takers on that pitch, I don't think. I mean,
besides Lukaku, but he wasn't there, yeah.
Yeah. And then they got their penalty from Barella. He didn't have the best of games that day, I'll admit. But to see Candreva score made me feel ill, honestly.
Panenka as well.
Yeah. If I didn't hate that guy enough, he just had to go and do that. And then Keita Balde, obviously, he's class, we have to admit, getting a good goal. And De Vrij almost starting something for us, but we just didn't have what it took to keep it going and get a win or even a draw there, which was a shame.
It was a Tinkerman masterclass, and you only see about 4 of those per season, and one of them had to come against Inter. Ranieri, what were your thoughts on that one, Rahul?
Yeah, that was really bad, that match. I remember it for the Pigeons mainly. It was just the Pigeons were like, I want to see the heat map for the Pigeons from that match. It was like they were on all the corners every single time we were attacking. And yeah, it was just bad. Yeah, that was a match we really, saw how Lukaku reliant we are this season. We were without Lukaku and we just couldn't create anything significant without him. But again, we still had chances that match. Like that was one of those matches where, you know, if we were clinical, if we took the penalty, we could have easily won that match 3-2 because Sampdoria didn't really create chances apart from the 2 goals. So it was just it was just the typical performance, but we couldn't get the goals.
Yeah, 100%. Cesare says, in history, no team has ever won the Champions with 3-5-2. Bro, I love your optimism, but right now we need to focus on winning some sort of domestic silverware with some sort of any formation, man.
Right,
Champions League at the moment. Yeah, bro. Like the Champions League, making it to the round of 16 is a long distant objective for myself at the moment. The game against Lazio could be season defining. Vittorio, unsure if you mean the first one or the second one that's coming up, or both. I agree that the next one against Lazio in that match day 3 to 4 chunk, the double against Lazio and Milan, my friend, you come out of that with 6 points, you look great. You come out of that with 3 or 4, you're still there. You come out with any less than 3, you might as well readjust your expectations after that, honestly, bro, because I don't think a team that buckles in 2 fixtures like that has the mental fortitude to go on to win a major honor like the Scudetto. The only thing I remember about the Bologna game is Eriksen coming in the 91st minute. Yep, one of Conte's famous daggers to the chest. There's plenty more of those in his kit. I'm sure we'll see 1 or 2 more of those.
That was another meme moment after the Vidal Raja substitution. It was the Eriksen going bold.
Yeah.
Depressed.
Yeah, and I didn't say it at the time, but I swear to God, he started to beef up for the first time in his professional career as well. Man, the guy is eating and not running enough. Akil says, amazing to see Skriniar regaining some form. 100% future captain, in my opinion. I'd be really happy to give it to him next. We've said on this podcast that Bastoni and Barella are future captain material, but you can't put that sort of pressure on them at this age. In my opinion, not only is Skriniar a great option because of his professionalism and because he's already been here for 4 seasons, I'm pretty sure in terms of being friends, he's like this with Handanovic. He and Handanovic are about as close as you can get in terms of teammates, so it's the perfect way to pass the torch on as well, not to mention their communication. Playing so close to the pitch, Skriniar has almost got a front row seat to what it's like to be the captain of this side. So, yeah, honestly, it's the no-brainer choice. If it goes to anyone else besides Skriniar, we'll have to answer some questions. Before we go into more, I'll throw that over to the boys. Dom, Skriniar, next captain, good choice?
Yeah, but I've seen Brozovic last season. He made a couple cameos as our captain, but one boy that I reckon in the next, 4 or 5 years could be our captain is Lucien Agume. The guy is the captain for the French youth setup, and he's been playing amazing for Spezia. So hopefully next season he comes in, starts controlling that midfield, getting appearances here and there. I think in the next few years he can be maybe captain. His leadership skills are apparently amazing, so we'd love to see that.
Yeah. All right. What's next? Oh, the Roma game. Once again, a match where Inter probably should have grabbed the points. We were better for large periods of the match. I've got my thoughts wrong. Sorry, it was Pellegrini who actually opened the scoring in that match. But once again, we were able to get in front. Like Inter have been this season, we have been fantastic in short spells of periods. And then we kind of drop off into mediocrity for the majority of the fixture. But there is going to be a critical point in time in every fixture where Inter punishes you. And a lot of those times we've actually been able to come up with a couple of goals. And this fixture was evident of that once again in the space of 7 minutes. Seems to be our magic number this season. Skriniar grabs the header and Hakimi scored what I thought would have been the winner. Look at that disgusting freaking number, 86th minute. Gianluca Mancini grabs a goal. Sharma, over to you first. Big gut-wrenching feeling after dropping points to Roma, yeah?
Yeah, I felt like we outclassed them that whole match pretty much till the 80th minute, until Conte did the thing that he's been doing kind of bit all season in big matches. He seems to, if we're ahead, he goes to that 5-4-1 formation where he brings on Perisic to be another winger and takes Lautaro off, and we just try to like soak up pressure, but we don't really try to counter. We just sit deep, and yeah, we get punished. Against Napoli, we were lucky that Petagna was on the field, so he couldn't take advantage of this chance. But against Roma, we were punished. Mancini took that goal quite well. Maybe it could have been a foul, but whatever. Yeah, just that's what I remember it for. I remember it for us. No, I thought in that match I was like, we still don't have the mentality, because a top team would have killed that match off. You just keep the ball, pass it around, not sit so deep and invite pressure. And yeah, we did the exact opposite. We didn't create any chances in the last like 10-20 minutes. So that was really disappointing because I thought we really outclassed Roma, even in the first half when we were 1-0 down. And I remember the fan base turning on Lautaro that match as well.
Look, I remember just thinking we were in control up until the last 10 minutes, and I can't remember who was on Hakimi's side marking him, if it was Pellegrini or if it was Ibanez, but neither of them looked up to the catch at all. And there were gaping holes in midfield and in our wings where I'm like, why aren't we pressing the ball into these areas? Why are we inviting a side like Roma, who has the likes of, Edin Dzeko on the pitch as well? Edin Dzeko was even substituted after they equalized at 2-2. So it was almost just rubbing salt into an open wound at that point. It was very disappointing. I think there was even a couple of incidents in extra time where Roma actually looked like they could grab a winner, and that would have been like proper disaster class in that sense. Before we move on to the disappointing vex that has us leaving sour in this video, in order to feel this low, you have to actually fly to a certain height. If you guys want to see how high that was, check out Sharma's match reaction to the Juventus video, and then you can check out mine as well. More F-bombs than our entire 2 years combined on camera. It was good shit, but, honestly, Dom, thank God we got the 3 points against Juventus, man, because it's still a mental strength that'll be in the back of our side. Even though we dropped the points against Udinese, you're hoping Conte and co can get them together and go, hey, remember what we did last week? Remember how good we are? Hopefully we can push on. The Juventus game was beautiful, wasn't it, Dom?
Oh, honestly, best thing I've seen. I mean, my mum was upstairs and she said she could hear us all screaming like so loud whenever we scored, and we said to her, it means that much. Like, Juve have always been the dominant force in Italy, but for us to beat them and the way we beat them was absolutely amazing. I mean, Barella, what a player that game. Mate, everything came through him. Bastoni as well, honestly. That's the reason I rep him in the username, because that guy is absolutely amazing. Anyone, just give him anyone, he'll pocket him. No matter who it is. Ronaldo, Lewandowski, he'll do anyone. And that's what I love about him. He's amazing.
Yeah, bro, he's something else, man. We're so lucky to have him. And I just remember, I think it might have been, it was either against Parma last season or, no, I think it was against Parma last season. We scored a couple of really late, we scored a couple of really late goals when Parma were down to 10 men. And his reaction to scoring that goal, I haven't seen a player grab our badge and react that way with our badge in a long time. And that's when I knew, I'm like, this kid's very, very special. Make sure we treat him right and with respect like you would with your wife. Bro, Rahul, I can't leave the Juventus match before going over to you. Like, up until the Udinese game, the vibe was still there, and that's the worst part.
We were on the Scudetto vibe. We were fully on the Scudetto train. This was the match where we were like, yes, this is the year. This is what we've been waiting for. As you were saying, like, both of our reactions, so many F-bombs. I even had someone even complained on my channel saying, you guys swearing too much. I was like, what can we do? We've been waiting for this moment for like 5 years. What do you want, man? You couldn't contain it. But yeah, we outclassed them, man. Like, that match, it wasn't just like, the Napoli match where we kind of grinded through. This was like, it could have been worse than 2-0. Juve were lucky it wasn't more. Yeah, Lautaro once again not finishing his dinner. But yeah, so that match will stay in history for a long time if this Inter team actually, delivers something this season.
Yeah, 100%, man, 100%. Let's go into a couple of comments before we move into the last section. Vecino is back. I've seen him in training, and I know he performed in the training match against the Serie C side. The only thing that's left, Uncle Sharma, is for the headline that Vecino is like a new signing coming from the official Inter account itself. So keep your eyes peeled for that one. I'm sure it's only like T-minus 1 day or 2 days away.
Gagliardini shaking in his boots.
Oh my God, bro! Here we go. Who knows, bro? Maybe Conte will switch it up to a double pivot, and we'll see them both in midfield again, a la Spalletti. Akil says, "What do you guys think it is? Why aren't Inter pedal to the metal from beginning of the match, bro?" I'm glad you asked that question, and I said this to one of my best mates before I went live, who's a huge Liverpool fan. I can't lose my shit over Inter yet this season, because we are actually one of the more consistent performers. I'm still upset. I'm still a little pissed off that it's not all there. But can someone please point me into the direction of a club where it is all there this season? I've only just seen PSG pick up momentum to the point now at match day 20, where they're dominating France. Usually that league is done by match day 5. Bayern Munich have been a shadow of their former self this season, going down more often than not. Liverpool are arse wank, and I don't think anyone saw that coming this season as well. Chelsea spent 220 million euros and are niggling in ninth. Real Madrid suck ass and went out to a third division side in the Copa del Rey. Don't even get me started on Barcelona. And Pep City just started looking good 2 weeks ago. In the grand scheme of things, Dom, this Inter side, to answer Akil's question, we're doing as best as we can in a very turbulent, COVID-stricken season. It'd be nice if a few of the other screws were hammered in. But what do you think of Akil's comment, and what do you think of what I've just said, Dom?
Yeah, firstly, what you just said, I mean, the only team I have really seen consistency with is Atletico Madrid. They've been taking it to their league, but that's about it. But, I mean, we used to go into games last season, and by the 10th minute, we'll be 1-2-0 up.
Yeah.
Any game. But I haven't seen that this season. We've been leaving it late sometimes, and sometimes against Udinese, not even scoring. But, you know, all we need is, like, to get into the second half of the season and see each match as a must win, because Milan match our results like every week. When we were going through that winning streak, it just felt like they were doing the same. So we need to really take it into the second half of the season and show what we can do. And one of the things that we need to do, and I'm surprised we haven't, it's the 25th of January, maybe 24th, and we haven't even signed anyone or even looked to sign anyone. And I feel like we have a lot of loose spots in that team that need to be addressed like straight away, especially that left wing back, and no urgency has been made on it.
100%, bro. But if the rumors are true and liquidity is a problem at the moment in this club, as it is in pretty much most clubs, that's why you've seen the quietest January transfer market in history. I don't see any traction from almost any club anywhere at the moment. So it's just the way it's going to be. You're going to have to go through to the end of the season with the resources that you've got. And in terms of resources, I do think Inter's well equipped. Rahul, your thoughts on Akil's comment and what I've said before we move on?
Yeah, man. You're spot on, man. You just put it into perspective. And I think with Inter fans this season, what hurts is the fact that AC Milan, so unexpectedly, they've been, right at the top for the whole season. Them and, as Dom said, Atletico, those two are probably the only consistent teams in the whole of Europe. So it hurts to see, AC Milan, a team that maybe most of us didn't even expect to be, top four contenders, and they're right there at the top, week in, week out. Even when they play like crap, they seem to, get the result. And even, when they lose like yesterday, we can't even take advantage of it. So that's why it hurts. And yeah, we're the opposite in terms of that. We start off slowly now and finish strongly. But I think overall, I think it helps to finish stronger than it helps to start, well. Because as we see, I think in a match, if you can, score 1 or 2 goals in the second half, it's always better than starting off and getting, come back by the other team. So I prefer how we are this season, to be honest. Yeah,
100%. Ian says Marotta already used that Vecino quote. Well, there you go, bro. I couldn't have predicted that myself. You couldn't, could you? There are a few comments coming in fast, but we still need to just talk quickly about Udinese before we completely move on. Yeah, we actually do, as annoying as it is, and only because there's a really good comment here as well from Kemi. So we'll pretty much just back off Kemi's comment to finish it up. Can we really hold Conte accountable for the draw against Udinese? He played the same formation that worked out against Juve. Maybe a change was necessary. Bro, I said this during the match and after the match. There is no way I'm putting this draw on Conte, because my last criticisms of Conte came about 5 or 6 games ago. And from then, I kind of just put them to the side and I thought to myself, no. This team is a largely paid squad with players who are experienced. This team has created more opportunities than any other team in Europe, bar maybe 1 or 2 sides all season. We have been a top 3 goal-scoring creator team. What the fuck do you want? Do you want Conte to go on into the pitch in his suit and tie and walk the ball into the back of the net himself? Do you want him to take the penalties? Do you want him to catch the crosses as the goalkeeper? I understand his in-game tactical adjustments aren't great, but I get what Kemi's saying. I think that we've been going into each game this season looking like we are the team to beat. Our execution has been not subpar. It's been abysmal, bro. Against Udinese, it was abysmal. Sharma, what do you reckon?
Yeah, I try to defend Conte quite a lot. I'm a big Conte FC, I guess you could say. But I think the Udinese match is one where because usually, as you said, with most matches we create so many chances. We're usually the better team. I think 90% of the matches this season, I felt like we were the better team, regardless of the result. But this Udinese match, apart from the Lautaro chance, which was gifted to us by them, we didn't create anything this match. So, and this is on Conte because, as you said, his in-game management is not very good, and he didn't make any changes that change the formation. He tried to change the men, but in the end, when you're matching up a 3-5-2 against a terrorist 3-5-2 like Udinese, you need to try something different, different angles or something. And like that I think that draw was a little bit on Conte, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. Fair enough, man. Like, it just would have been really nice for one of those attacks to come off on the right-hand side. If one of those two come off, you're looking at the game like, oh, nice, 2-0 Conte masterclass onto the next one. So all these small variables, bro. Football's always been a game of fine margins, and I reckon this season it's about as fine as you can possibly cut it, man. Let's have a look at some of these comments. So I'm not being selfish. I don't want to leave anybody out who was nice enough to get here. 17 people watching. If you are here, smash a like on the video so that it helps us a little bit as well. Predictions for the Milan game. It's as I'm looking at the fixtures, I'm like, Benevento on the 30th of January. That's way too far away.
Is that your brother?
That's my brother.
Oh, no way. Like your actual brother. That's funny as. How old's your brother?
He's 21.
That's nice, bro. Shout out, Sebastian. Thanks for joining in, my bro. Really appreciate it. So this Milan fixture is it's coming up actually pretty soon, isn't it? In the Coppa Italia. Do you know when it is, Rahul?
Tuesday.
As in like 32 hours from now, Tuesday? Piss off.
Yeah.
Piss the fuck off. You've got to be kidding me. I thought our next game was Benevento on the 30th.
No, bro. That's tomorrow for you.
I don't know. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning into the Inter AC Milan match preview, which this just became in the blink of an eye. What the fuck, bro? What are we gonna do? Who's gonna play? 1 a.m. All right. We got this. All right, guys, we'll take on Milan in about 32 hours' time in the Coppa Italia. I'm going to clip this segment as well. Rahul, who are we going to rotate? Who's going to play this game?
We'll see. It seems like Conte. I think now Conte's pretty much found his team. I don't think we're going to see much rotation from now on, as we know, because we're not in Europe anymore. I don't think we're going to see much rotation in this match. I think only one or two players, there's always that left centre mid position. That's always the left wing back, left centre mid position, and the striker. So maybe it'll be Sanchez, Lautaro, or something. That's something that Conte does. But overall, I think with the rest of the season, we'll see pretty much the exact same team going in. And against Milan, I think someone like Sensi, if he's ready to start, will come in, or Gagliardini. I think Vidal won't start this game. Barella will start because he just has to. Brozovic because he just has to. Hakimi will maybe at the back. It could have been if D'Ambrosio was there, but he's not. I think the back line is going to be the same as well. So pretty much same old for me. Yeah,
100%. Well, joke's on you, Inter. The game's at 6:45 a.m. and I go back to work on that day, so I can't actually watch that game. So if you're going to break someone else's heart, you can do it to Rahul for all I care. I just can't believe that just spun me out big time, man. That's such a short turnaround, bro. Prediction-wise, seeing as though I didn't even know there was a game on, I'm actually going to say this sounds like the fixture that's going all the way to 120 minutes, possibly even penalties as well. You know what fixture's flashing through my mind at the moment? Coppa Italia against Lazio, where Nainggolan skies his penalty 2 seasons ago. And we go out in the worst fashion, man. I think we were down 1-0 and we got a penalty with like 10 seconds to go. It was a rubbish penalty as well. If there was VAR, he would have overturned it big time. So yeah, I'll go with 1-1 at the end of 90 minutes, and I don't know what's going to happen after that. Dom, what are your thoughts?
Well, we're going to have our proper back three against Milan for the first time this season. So hopefully we can have some solidity there. They're missing Chanaloglu. Not sure how you say his name. It's a proper weird one, but he's like a proper creative thing for them.
He reminded me of Robbie from AFTV then.
But hopefully we can come out this win. I'm going to say 2-0 after 90 minutes for Inter.
That'd be great.
Very optimistic. But you got to hope high,
I know it's the copper, man, but you deliver another dagger to Milan now after losing 3-0 to Atalanta. This is a really good way to start pressuring their expectations and start getting them down in the dumps for what they need to be. I don't want to chat shit about them because they are exceeding my expectations, but they are, whether they want to admit it or not, they're about to come into the most difficult part of their season where they've got Europa League. If they could keep the pace with us, man, I'll just start respecting them to the point where I can't chat anything because they've got a more uphill climb than we do. What else we got? What else we got before we send the boys away? Do you think this Milan team can really do it and win the league, or is it just the first part of the season? Bro, just answered that question. Thank you very much, Ahmed. What else do we got? What else we got? Luca, welcome, bro. Who would sign, in my opinion, a goalkeeper and left back, backups to Lukaku and our centre back? Yeah, pretty much. Dom was saying that there are some positions that need to be filled, but in this particular climate, we'll be lucky to get one player on a free transfer or a loan, let alone, subbing in all these different spots, bro. Sub-Zero, what's going on, Mr. Combat? I agree with Sharma. It was clear that 3-5-2 wasn't working against Udinese. Yeah, bro, we just kept hitting the low block, hitting the wall, and nothing was going with it. So you really need to be able to switch it up and adapt in the game. And for, I hate playing the salary card, but you'd like a little bit more flexibility from such a high-profile coach. One method can't just work all the time in anything in life, guys. Ian Kerr, into worldwide outtakes. Bro, that Coppa Italia fixture hit me like a fucking train, bro. I can't believe that's going on so quickly. Forza Inter, great stream, lads. Love from Egypt. Love to you, Kemi. Thanks a lot. Kolarov playing against Milan. I wouldn't be surprised. It's the Coppa Italia. At the end of the day, Conte needs to justify this sort of salary in some way, shape, or form. What message does this send to a financially struggling board if you can't play Kolarov at all anymore this season? It's horrible. And I don't think Conte's demands or negotiations would work very well if he was to continue here next season, if he doesn't show the board that he backs his signings. Luxurious home listings, always there and about. Superior home listings. We need to start Kolarov at left wing back for 60 minutes, then bring on Damian or Young. Bro, love your home listings. What makes you think Kolarov can cover 60 minutes at left wing back? Like, I understand he is more attacking minded, but if he's been caught out before playing deeper, I can only imagine that we will be terrorized on that left-hand side again, unless Bastoni has an absolute masterclass, which he probably would because he's a masterclass sort of guy. People are saying Kolarov is too old, but not realizing Young is just 1 year younger. Young's name and baby's face is fooling us. I'm going to go over to Dom for this one first. Like, I'm a fan of Ashley Young because I think that he can always do basics and fundamentals actually right. He can almost guarantee you a 6 out of 10 every game, but don't ever ask him to give you a 7.5 because he stopped doing that about 4 years ago. At the end of the day, he's actually quite an intelligent player. And I don't care what anybody says, it's not easy coming over to Italy that old in your career and being able to tactically adapt to a system like Conte's like that. I think he does that explicitly well. I think his communication with Romelu Lukaku in terms of switching the play is almost the best in the league in terms of a striker combining with their wingback. It just so happens that when the ball is with Ashley Young and the end product or the end cross, that skill set tends to elude him these days. What do you reckon, Dom?
I personally like Ashley Young. He's a good player. He gets around. He gets what needs to be done. But I don't think Kolarov can start at left wing back. He just doesn't have that in him. I mean, he's got grey hairs.
That English bias.
But yeah, I mean, I would like to see Perisic maybe start out there. But like, he's not the best. But I don't get it. I look on Twitter, all the Bayern fans are like, "Oh, I wish we can have him back. I want him back so much." I'm like, why? Please just take him. Yeah, if they love him so much, like, pay whatever you want.
As we've said on this channel and everyone else is saying it, bro, he's playing a completely different ball game and position. And Perisic, when you give him the ball in the attacking third, he's got that freedom and he looks up and he only sees one defender. He'll cross in, he'll switch it up. Like, he's got that attacking freedom. That's what he likes to do, and that's what he's done for Croatia and Bayern. Now he's literally playing in a position where every time he picks up the ball, the entire opposition team is in front of him when he looks up. He's been made to do a role he almost hasn't played before in his career. And the reason he's there is primarily for physicality reasons, in my opinion, for endurance reasons, and for professionalism. He will be able to mentally keep the team stable for a little bit. For me, this has to be Perisic's last season. I think there are a few of players in this team that are on their retirement season for Inter. That's pretty much it. I'm sorry I've kept the boys a little bit longer than I know we agreed to. But before we go, there are just a couple of questions, couple of metrics that we need to answer. So we'll start with the easy ones. Who have been your tops and flops for the first half of the season? because I'm always on this channel, everyone sort of knows my answers. So we'll go over to Dom first. Maybe 2 or 3 really, really good players this season for you, and maybe 2 or 3 players that just suck altogether and you don't expect anything more.
For me, the best have got to be Hakimi, Bastoni, and Barella. I mean, they're the youngest in our team and some of the best there. Hakimi, one of the best players I've seen in a long time. That guy, especially what he did to us last year in the Dortmund colours, like,
yeah,
he is special. But Barella as well, that guy, like, you can kick him, take his leg off, whatever. He keeps running. Like, he played one game with a black eye, another against Juve, nosebleed and everything. He's a soldier. He keeps going. And Bastoni as well, like that kid. I'm going to say it right now, and I'm going to firm it. He's top 10 centre backs in the world.
Bro, honestly, I would back it up in form wise for sure.
Yeah, like when those 3 play at the back together, Skriniar, Bastoni, and De Vrij, I feel safe. I know we can see that's because we've got Handanovic in goal, and he don't do much. But, you know, we get what needs to be done with them 3 at the back. And for me, the stinker, I've tweeted about him a lot, especially after that Madrid game, is the Mohawk fraud. You know,
Farmer's face, yo, this is gonna be madness, bro.
He plays well some games, like he digs in deep, but he's just silly. He does silly things, obviously penalties, red cards. He loses temper a lot, and I think the best clip has been Conte was shouting at him after he gave away the penalty against it was against Crotone. He was like, Vidal, just shut up and play football. You know, that's what it needs to be told. It needs to be in his brain because he loses his temper far too quick.
100%. The thing is with Vidal is that he does have that experience and that pedigree to get into those advantageous positions. And Conte yelling at him was probably the best thing that could have happened because he has found a little bit more since then. When we are doing the Vidal FC episode, I'll be sure to replace Dom with Christian Rivas, and then him and Rahul can basically talk more Vidal. So we'll go over to Rahul next. Your tops of the season so far and your flops, bro.
Arturo Vidal. I'm joking. You know, I did like a mid-season review a few weeks ago with George from the Primo Pod, but I think it was a bit too early. But back then, I gave my player of the season until now to Lukaku. Yep. But now I'm gonna change it because since then, I think Lukaku's had a little bit of a drop off in form, and I think he doesn't score in like 3 or 4 matches now.
It's 4 games now, yeah.
Yeah, so just because of that, I think Barella has to. He's the player of the season until now. I think if he keeps going like this, easily he'll be player of the year for us, player of the season. And then shout outs to the other guys like Skriniar. I think this year last year De Vrij was the best centre back in the whole league, obviously, as he won the award. But I think Skriniar this year has been our best defender. Because even Bastoni recently, because we don't have that alternative at left centre back. He looked a bit tired, like especially against Sampdoria when he got done 1v1. So I think Skriniar, this year has been more consistent and he scored those goals as well this year, which he hasn't scored for us since like the Spalletti years. And Lukaku, Skriniar, and Barella, those are my top 3s. And then flops, Vidal, he has to go in there just because of what I expect and what a lot of Inter fans expected from Vidal, someone with that experience, that that pedigree, just not really living up to the name. But I still have faith in Arturo. I still have faith, and he liked 2 of my tweets on Twitter, so I'll protect him against anyone.
Big up for that, man. That would have been mad. I would have loved to see your smile when you found that out. Oh my god!
I can't DM him. He needs to open up his DM so I can twerk for him. But then other flop for me has been Ashley Young. I think he's been the worst player of the season for me. I think he goes a little bit under the radar how bad he plays some games. But I do appreciate what he's done for us, like in terms of last season. But I think this year it's really baffling to me how he keeps starting. But I guess it's because Perisic is the competition on that side.
Yeah, I didn't think it'd be possible for me to even slightly miss Biraghi this season because of how bad Biraghi was. But why does he turn up like a different person for Fiorentina? I know Fiorentina sucked this season and they've been very disappointing. But whenever I see him play for Fiorentina, I'm like, damn, he still looks like he's got flair. I see why we brought him in. And I don't know, it might have been better off to keep him, bro, to be honest, especially since our other favorite player, Dalberto Carlos, was never going to play again, Raul.
Fucking
What a guy. I'll finish it up here. Luca says, I'd say obviously Lukaku, I think he's the most important player in the league in terms of how we play without him. Can't really argue that. Jake Kalea, who's always tuning in. Big up to Jake. Thank you very much. Do you think we'll ever see Radu play for Inter? And do you think he is actually good enough to replace Handanovic? The thing is, we can't answer the second question without answering your first one. And as I said, I think it was to Raul or would have been to someone else a couple of weeks ago. If that dude couldn't get minutes against Fiorentina in the Coppa, the only way he eats the field is if Handanovic gets injured. So I don't think we see Radu at all. Kemi says Barella has to take the prize. Don't even think there's a debate there. Luca says Damian deserves some praise for his price tag as well. 100% hasn't been good enough to say he's a top 3, but has not put a foot wrong when he's been asked. Martinez, flop of the season. Interesting. That's from your bro. That's from the Bastoni baller bro. For me personally, man, maybe people will argue my opinions that they can't be flops if they haven't taken the field enough. But for me, you don't bring in a 7 mil player like Kolarov and for him to fuck up that drastically to the point where Conte doesn't trust him anymore. He goes in for my first flop of the season. My second flop of the season, I don't want to say Handanovic, but he's got to go at the end of this season. We're trying to win a Scudetto. We're not trying to make top 4. And when you're trying to win a Scudetto, every mistake counts. And we're now going into every fixture going, will Handanovic make a mistake? That should not be a metric when you're going for a league title. You should be safe with your goalkeeper first and worry about other variables in the match. So the fact that we're worrying about Handanovic, I'm really sorry, he gets my number 2. Now, I'm not putting Vidal at number 3 because he has slightly redeemed himself and he will redeem himself. You know who won't redeem himself ever again? You know who will never set foot in this club again? I know it was you, Raja. You broke my heart. You broke my heart, bro. Raja Nainggolan is a huge flop in Inter colours. He gets my third choice for our flops of the season. And yeah, I don't like him anymore. He's not my friend anymore. I don't want to play with him in the playground. I don't want to invite him to my birthday party. I don't want anything to do with this guy. Raul, Raja, any last minute love towards the guy, or are we just trying to pretend that it never happened, G?
Get lost. Never want to see him in the Inter shirt again. He broke my heart as well. I'm heartbroken as well. It's like we're like salty exes. We just we're gonna block him on everything.
Yeah, we thought he was our girl, but it was just our turn, bro. Very momentarily, and then he just did really, really quickly. Ahmed, I just want to say your videos are really good. Keep up the good work. Hopefully, we'll celebrate at the end of the season. 100%, bro. 100%. Either way, if we're celebrating or not, I'll still be here. Sharma will still be here. Dom will still be here. Guys, if you're here and you haven't liked the video yet, please smash a like on it. I'm not going to keep my guests any longer. It was a really, really fun season review. And I'm lucky I had the boys here to fact check me because I was going to end with saying we'll see you after Benevento. Just kidding. We'll see you in 2 days. So, Dom, thanks for joining us, bro.
Thank you for having me. I'll see you
anytime, man. Anytime. And Raul, Zio, as always, bro, I'll see you soon, my man. Peace.
Thank you. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't.
Please subscribe to Uncle Sharma's channel and his Twitter as well. Super funny, super enjoyable. From all of us here at Inter Worldwide, until next time. Ciao, ragazzi.